This episode is brought to you by Union Rec, which is a local Ann Arbor restaurant. They got tacos, they got burritos, they got backlot smoked barbecue, Union Joints, most mac and cheese, burgers, bowls, and crafted cocktails, as well as craft drafts, plus a coffee counter that opens up early. And over 800 inches of high-definition screens for game time action. Union Rec is right there on Main between the Big House and downtown in the former Fingerly Lumber Mill building. Union Rec, campy, tasty, and totally game for big games and big gatherings. All right, everybody, welcome into the lab presented by Champion Circle. Make sure you head over to ChampionCircleUofM.com to find out how you can support your student athletes. Two of those guys that benefited from the Champion Circle as they were transfers this past offseason and are now Big Ten champs and Rose Bowl champs and headed to compete for a national title next Monday against the Washington Huskies are Josiah Stewart and Josh Wallace. And fellas, I really just want to start there. I don't want to ask you how you're doing because I know how you're doing. I want to get straight into the meat and bones of this. You guys, first off, we're talking about the plane ride back. And I'd love if you can share what that plane ride home from Pasadena was last Monday night.
I mean, for me, man, I was tired. So I went right to sleep as soon as I got on. I woke up with like 30 minutes left, and these guys were up front. Chatting it up, having a good time. But I mean, I was so tired.
Yeah, I was tired too, but we stayed up the whole flight in first class. I went out there. Crazy. Mike invited me and Rod up there, so it was really fun. Coach Harbaugh came up, Coach Klink, and we just had fun. Just chilling, talking to the guys, talking about the game, the atmosphere, and it was a great time.
Okay, so Josiah, sorry, man, you slept through the great conversation. I can never sleep on planes, so I would have been up there with the fellas. Josh, what's that like, man? What's the energy of those conversations like? Like, are you guys talking about all the game? Are you talking about life? Are you talking about the national title? What are those moments like?
Oh yeah, we were just talking about the game mostly. I remember Rob Moore saying, bringing up Coach Hurd's speech, he had a speech for the defense before the game, just talking about how the Rose Bowl field is a once-in-a-lifetime feeling. And, you kind of feel like a superhero playing on that field because everybody doesn't get the chance to play at the Rose Bowl. And he was absolutely right. It was once-in-a-lifetime experience, something I'll never forget.
Man, the way you guys took the field, I remember I was lucky enough to be down on the field, and you look like superheroes, man. Like, the look in you guys' eyes, I was like, oh, man, I knew we were about to see a hell of a ball game, and you guys certainly delivered. Okay, I really want to go back because I know we want to talk about the Rose Bowl and we want to talk about the national title, but I really want to go back because you guys were both new additions to this Michigan team. You were transfers this offseason. And Josiah, we could start with you. I mean, man, out of all the places you could have went, why Michigan?
I mean, first and foremost, just the generation of the players that they brought out, at this program at my position as well. I feel like the system, especially, I'll fit in well. But I mean, obviously, being high school teammates with Mikey helped out a little bit. He says he's a good recruiter, but I mean, he told me you have a chance to play in a national championship, and I took his word for it. And what do you know? We're here now. So I mean, this is the best decision I've probably ever made. So I'm proud to be here.
I'm sure a lot of people send that text, though. A lot of competitors send that text and say, hey, you can compete for a national title here. I bet there's probably 20 teams that send that text. Why'd you believe Mikey?
Just because I know him, from the past, just the type of guy he is, he wouldn't lie, and then just the way he said it, it was real passionate, like he really believed it. And, as he's a leader of this team, and, he had goals for this team, and, we're there now. So, I mean, I believed him from the jump.
You get me fired up, man. We're not even 5 minutes into this episode, and that gets me so fired up. Josh, what can you share with us about why you chose Michigan?
Why I chose Michigan, it just ran like an NFL program, really. Everybody has to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Coaching staffs are great, players are great. It was really an easy transition coming in. I came in late June, right after I graduated, so you never know how that's going to go coming on to the team. Last player to be added to the team. And, it's just great being here. I love it here. The best decision I've ever made as well.
Do you think it was easier? I mean, the defense is so veteran, they're so experienced. Like the fact that, I mean, really for both you guys, right? But Josh, you mentioned the timing of it specifically. Like, man, this defense, they call it the no stars defense, so it's unselfish. They're extremely experienced. Jesse Minter's been a defensive coordinator for a while. Like, what were some of the factors that played into you just being able to pick it up, aside from your own experience, of course?
What made me pick it up, you're saying?
Yeah. How you can come in at that point and learn this system and then go execute the way you're executing. You made some big plays in that Rose Bowl too.
Listen. Oh, the big reason I picked it up was Coach Minter and really Mikey, as he said as well. Since I got here, Mikey really became like a really close friend and brother to me. And like he was helping me through the playbook, learning nickel, learning corner. And that's kind of how I picked it up so fast. We used to stay after just watching film or going over playbook. I would always ask him questions. He'll always have an answer no matter what he's doing. I can call him. Like during the summertime, we used to do player-run practices. And, I'm new, so I don't really know all the checks. So I'll call him like 8 o'clock at night. He'll always answer, like not get annoyed. So I appreciate him for doing that.
The selflessness on this team is just so apparent, man. And I've been, I played here. I don't know how well you guys know me, but I played here a few years ago. And like, I know a lot of teams that compete for national titles. They probably feel like their team's rare. Like I would imagine every team feels they're special. You know what I mean? But when I hear stories like that, I really genuinely believe in my heart, like this team's special. And Mikey Sainer-Steele is one of those leaders that stands out amongst the rest, man. I am interested in this angle. And of course, we're presented by Champion Circle. The world of NIL, I know that plays a factor. And, what was your experience of NIL like at Michigan and your experience working with Valiant and Champion Circle?
Oh, well, it's been a great experience. You get to interact with fans, get to meet new people. Like we had a signing event up in Somerset Mall. That was a great turnout. Also at Blake Corum's tour drive. And that was a great event, just seeing the Michigan fans show up. And it's always good when you see blue around,
Yeah. Josiah?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, like you said, especially me and those fans, like you don't really get to see it. I mean, you see it in the stands, but when they actually take their time to come out, and bring their kids and have all this, memorabilia for you to sign. Like, I mean, it's a great feeling. And, I mean, just the fact that, they've been so great to us with all the players, equally. So, I mean, it's been cool.
It's really amazing, man. It's one of the best parts in what makes Michigan so special. I always say it is the fan base, the reach. You've been blowing up on Twitter too, Josiah. That last play of the goal line stand when you blew the tackle up and just walked him right. I was like, man, that's a big dude. That's a big dude, So you were going viral a little bit. Do you remember the first time you played in the big house? The first experience of getting, the fan base in person?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I will never forget. I mean, that was my, first game in the Big Ten. So, I mean, that's, pinned in my life forever.
Josh?
Oh yeah. It was a great experience. Nothing like running under that tunnel. Nothing could compare to it.
Man, 100,000 plus, man. There's definitely nothing like it. And it's always better running out after a win too. So, okay, let's start to tell the story to get where we are today. And there was one guy you mentioned, Ben Herbert, that I feel we have to talk about, the strength coach. Continually gets brought up by players. You guys being new, what was your first impression of Coach Herbert when you got on campus?
Well, I mean, from the jump, like you could tell how serious he is, how passionate he is, how serious he takes his job. Like off the rip, he was telling me, how we can develop you, and I mean, I seen that and I loved it, because he actually cares. And when I first came in to the first couple workouts, like he's treating all the guys the same way. Like he's coaching every guy, he's talking to every guy. And I mean, he just knows how to like get you going. So, I mean, Ben Herbert, we wouldn't be here without him for sure.
Josh, you mentioned his pregame speech. I feel like what I continually hear with Michigan is when a guy speaks, the words don't get lost. Like, and no one speaks just to speak. Like people speak when they have something to say, and they've earned the right to speak as well. And it feels like Ben Herbert is a guy that's real timely and calculated with his words. And it sounds like he delivered a hell of a speech ahead of this game. What's his fire mean? Like, like you said, when he talked to you guys pregame, he was able to get you guys going. Like what kind of passion does he instill into the locker room?
Oh, I mean, everybody that that's on the Michigan football staff respect Coach Herbert, because he's literally that guy on our staff, like literally that guy. But like having him talk to the defense, just giving us keys. I can't say what he said, but just it helped out a lot during the game. Just giving us little tips and stuff, what to do, and stuff like that. So yeah, Coach
can't really say too much. But yeah, he had a great speech that fired us.
I was hype.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, some of that we'd have to bleep it out anyways. So that's all good. So I mean, man, I do want to spend some time talking about the Rose Bowl just because this is the Michigan centered NIL player podcast, and I remember when I committed to Michigan back in like 2011, I was like. I remember the legendary picture of Charles Woodson with the rose in his mouth. And I thought to myself, man, one day, like, I'm going to play in the Rose Bowl. I never got the opportunity. It'd been a long time since Michigan had the chance to compete in a Rose Bowl. So first off, do you guys remember when did you know it was going to be the Rose Bowl? Like, what? Because the number one team gets a chance to pick. Do you guys know definitively when you knew you'd go out to Pasadena to play in the Rose Bowl?
No, I mean, I feel like we was still at the hotel, and I guess like the people on the buses were saying that we were playing Pasadena. So I mean, it started from somewhere. Don't know, but I mean, we kind of figured because of it being closer to who was it?
Because we were the Big Ten, I guess.
Yeah. So
tradition.
Right. Okay. All right, cool. That makes sense. That checks out. But then how about for, you're playing Alabama, Josh, because, there's a Rose Bowl and then there's a matchup like that. I mean, I felt like there was so much hype going into that game, man. It's the SEC versus the Big Ten. It's Nick Saban versus Jim Harbaugh. Like, Saban's won the national titles.
Right.
Jim Harbaugh, he struggled in the postseason. Whatever the narratives were outside, a lot of people were talking. And that just added to the hype of the Rose Bowl. Can you remember a game like, obviously not like you've just been a part of, but even just as a fan of the sport, can you remember a game, a non-national title game that had been this juiced up leading up to it?
Yeah, other than Ohio State, I can't name. But Rose Bowl, I feel like the Rose Bowl, that was a different experience, just being there the whole week, getting treated by Lowry's.
Yeah,
Lowry's. Yeah, it was just a great experience, great tradition, and yeah. I don't think anything was close to that game. That atmosphere was once in a lifetime.
And the level of focus you guys had, though, like make the way the defense was playing, like, I mean, I was in awe watching you guys play. It seriously was like art to see how dialed in, a near perfect game. It really felt like a near perfect game. What was the preparation like for that whole month leading up to it? Because, man, you guys hit the ground running in that game.
Well, it was like those small details, like from right out the Iowa game, from tackling angles. I mean, we knew Miro was a good quarterback, and he's good with his legs. So just knowing those proper angles, our pass rush lanes, things like that, staying in your lane, keeping contained. So those small details, just fitting in your gap, and just playing for each other, was a big part of it. Proving ourselves, obviously, and playing on the stage, got everybody fired up. Playing Alabama and, making good plays against Alabama will, feed your families one day. So, I mean, just the mindset we had, just very focused on those small details.
And I would say personally is just Coach Mentor just sticking to our 4 pillars, really. We emphasize that every day in practice, no matter what, someone cuts across your face, like you're getting pointed out on film, and just sticking to our keys and sticking to the game plan. I feel like the defense, the staff had us well prepared for that game, and as well the players, we did a great job locking in those last 3 weeks.
I can tell you, let me ask you this, because so I know I'm sure, okay, at Coastal and at Boston College, did your team have pillars as well or something similar?
You go. Yeah. UMass, no, we didn't have pillars. Coastal?
Nah, we didn't have no pillars, but I mean, we had like a mantra, I guess, for our defense. But like that was about it. We didn't have no like staples for our defense.
I feel like it gets talked about, like angles, principles, all this kind of stuff in meetings. It gets discussed, and yet you guys bring that up constantly, and it seems like it's not just something that's talked about. It's clearly executed. And you weren't here for the TCU game last year, but the angles, the details were what were the difference in that game. I mean, literally, I remember, you know, a 3rd and 7, and Michigan came all the way back offensively, and Minter sends a blitz, and they hit Quentin Johnson, the receiver for the Chargers, and he breaks one tackle down the sideline, and it was like lights out, game over. And it's like a 1 degree difference in their angle could make a difference. Why does this team, you know, why is this team able to, you know, hear the principles and the pillars, but why are they able to execute it?
Just off the rip, like I remember it was like the first practice of spring ball, and Coach Minter put up that same clip of Quentin Johnson running down, and just like other plays similar to that. And he was like, you know, this got to change. And from that point on, I mean, it just stuck with us, and we didn't want to be in that position again, to have a guy run 70 yards down the field and for a touchdown. So, I mean, just, you know, it stuck with us from the jump, man. We just kept going with it, and just having that staple in our defense is what got us here.
So you get into this game, and, you know, I think about how it played out early with like it was a near interception, and then it wasn't, and then, you know, you guys get a quick stop, but then there's a muff punt. Bama scores quickly. Like, I think about how the difference between a good team and a great team and a championship team. And I think the number one thing is the championship teams don't blink in those moments. Like, there's no finger pointing or anything. Do you guys remember the sidelines when you faced that early adversity? Was there even any conversation, or did anything even need to be said early in the game at that point?
Well, for the defense, we just feel like you got to put the ball down. We're going to stop you wherever you're at, you know. And Coach Klink, he always says don't flinch to the whole defense. So no matter what situation in life or on the field, we just don't flinch, you know. Just be prepared, ready to do the job.
And you didn't flinch, right? And you didn't flinch. Josiah, I mean, the amount of pressure seriously, like record-setting sack numbers, record-setting pressure numbers in that game, right? Versus Alabama. Did you guys follow those stats at all? I believe it was like record-setting numbers or something like that. There's something to be said about bringing pressure versus Jalen Milroe. And if one guy's out of his gap, it's lights out, right? Like, he's going to make you kind of talked about it there in a second. Like, what was the conversation like leading up to this game, knowing, hey, we got to pressure him, this is who we are, but also knowing the opponent you guys were going up against?
For sure. I mean, especially working with those inside guys, us being on the same page, especially me and the edge on the other side, and along with those interior D tackles, just staying in our lanes, working together, good communication, you know, when to run these twists, when to blitz, who's blitzing from where, just, you know, solid communication around the board, you know, was, you know, one of our main points from week one up preparing for this game. And I mean, we feel like we did that pretty well.
And then you get down into overtime. And okay, so how about that picture? Did you guys see that picture? So Bama sends out 3 dudes and Michigan sends out just Mikey.
Yeah.
You guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know how that made me feel. How'd that make you guys feel?
Yeah, overtime, you know, we got the overtime. The defense just knew, like, we're going to win this game. Offense gets in, they're not getting in. So that was just the mindset we had. And, you know, Mike is the captain, so everybody follows his lead. So that was great by Coach putting him out there.
Yeah, he looked pretty badass out there by himself.
That's a badass pick. Yeah, that's a cold pick, bro. So you guys are thinking just one stop, and it gets down to that 4th down play. And I'd love for, you know, Josiah, you had the play that's get blown up on Twitter where you just walk back a 330-pound offensive tackle. You know, okay, but also they come out, timeout. They come out again, another timeout. It was like 2 timeouts before the play got snapped. You know, what goes on in the timeouts at that point where you guys line up and you're ready? Like, is there what's the emotional roller coaster like in those moments where you're thinking the season's on the line, we got to go make a stop, and then it stops, and then it happens again?
I mean, like, your blood's rushing at that point, and then you're like, oh, and you just like, you know, ease up. And then you walk back to your sideline. You know, you go over a few things, make sure you're ready for certain plays, and then you go back. Okay, all right, we're about to play, and then your blood's rushing again, and then same thing. You're like, oh, well, timeout. So you walk back to your sideline, you probably say some of the same things, drink some water, and then you go back, and then I mean, you just finally you just get to play. I mean, yeah.
Is it like an iced kicker? Like, are you getting in your stance, like wondering, man, is there going to be like another like stoppage here, Josh, or like, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you got to be ready to go. Because that took a little minute to start that last play, but the D line did a great job. Josiah did a great job pushing that old lineman, tripping him into Milrow. And, defense just did a great job overall, just executing the game plan and getting a W.
Take me through just the moment, like so I mean, it was tackle gets made, and immediately the band starts playing, celebration. You guys are running around. Like, what's the emotion? Is it relief? Is it joy? Is it excitement? Is it bliss? Is it let's go get this national title? Like, what's it like in those, as the confetti's going?
Oh yeah, of course it's joy, excitement, all those, and then you just think about, dang, we about to go have the opportunity to play a national championship, So it was great having that feeling, having the Michigan fans going crazy in the state. I think they took over the stadium, in my opinion. Yeah, but it was just a great feeling. It was a great feeling.
I mean, first, I just want to say we're not making that play if Josh doesn't tackle him at the 3-yard line. But I mean, at first, like I was confused at first because I didn't really know I tripped him at first. I just got up and I'm like looking for Derek because he's on the ground. I look up and everybody's just rushing the field. And I mean, like at that point, I'm like, yo, we just did this. Like, like we're all legends now. Like we're gonna go on in history. And that was just going through my mind. And obviously, we're playing in the national championship. Like let's go finish this. Like that was all going through my mind. Like let's go finish this.
Because that was the play before, right, Josh?
Yes, play before.
This is what you got. This is just amazing, man. Like that's it right there. That's it right there. Like we're going to talk. Okay. I'm glad you even brought it there because Josh, I do want to ask that because you're on an island. There was some hand fighting going on, right? Like he created a little bit of separation and you got to make the tackle. You got to make the tackle in open space. I mean, is it really that simple? You're thinking just technique or, what's that like? Balls in the air. You see him catch it. Got to come down and make the play. What's that like?
Well, as DB, you don't want nobody catching the ball on you, but as soon as the person catches you, can't let them get that yards after catch. So you got to get them down immediately. And, he was close to the sideline, like our angles we talked about earlier. We preach that all the time, tackling on the sideline. So it was only don't let the two things ran in my mind. Don't let them come back, and then you're either going through me or out of bounds. And I'm not letting nobody go through me. So.
I know it's you guys talk about it so casually and it sounds so simple, but like to our viewers, just to like talk about the context, like you can only think like that in the moment if you've prepped it countless times. Like you can't just think in the moment as the ball. How many guys in that moment, duck their head or put their head on the wrong side or let him get to the field just like a guy getting baseline in basketball. Like, but you've repped it 1,000 times where you know exactly what to do in that moment. And if you make the play, Josh, then the next play, hey, I just got to give my defense some ground to stand on. If there's an inch of turf in there, we're good. We're going to get that stop. And you get the stop, right? And it's special. And, I'm honestly glad that I didn't ask. So, Josiah, you could say, hey, shout out to Josh, because I think that just highlights, the defense in and of itself. But let's pivot a little bit because – I mean, this is a phenomenal challenge, man. Michael Penix, I mean, that dude is truly remarkable at the quarterback position. Rome Odunze, like, I mean, you could go down the list. It's going to be a fun game to watch, man. Could you give the fans, what are you seeing on tape?
I mean, I'm seeing a quarterback, obviously, with an explosive arm. I mean, he wants to get his receivers downfield for sure. I mean, he's real talented. Their O-line's good. I mean, they have players all around. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to who wants it more, and who's willing to sacrifice everything for it.
They have a great quarterback. He was in the Heisman running and elite wide receivers, O-line Joe Moore as well, and the running backs are good as well. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, and we're ready for it to display how we're the number one defense in the country.
What's it? I mean. So you're playing in a national title game. Like, do you guys remember, like, what is it like the little kid in you, like the kid in you when you're playing in the backyard, like, oh yeah, we're playing for the championship right now. Like, what's like the little kid in you feel for this week? Does that question make sense? Even, you know, like I have a little kid in me, like I'm going to cover the game and do some shows around what you guys are doing. And I feel like there's a little kid in me. I'm excited to go see this. You know, is there some part of that in you guys that's like, wow, this is a true lifelong like chance here?
Damn right. Like I remember watching those Alabama Georgia games when Alabama won it on that game winning catch by Devontae Smith, and I'm like, damn, like, bro, like that environment was crazy, and like now I'd never imagine myself, you know, playing in that game, and now I'm playing in that game, and it's just like surreal. You know, I'm still not really grasping it. I probably won't till I'm in that stadium, but like now it's just a mindset of, you know, finish it to really like solidify, you know, our lives, you know, as legends, you know, for this program.
Josh?
I mean, it's tough to beat that. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of hit it on the notch, but yeah, you know, you never expect yourself to, you know, play in a national championship, and you know, it's a blessing at the end of the day. You gotta thank God for everything, and you know, that one team 144. We gotta get the job done, or nobody will remember us. So that's the goal. One more to go.
One more, man. Kobe said it. Job's not finished. Josiah, you said, hey, man, it comes down to the team that wants it more. And I just want to ask you straight up, like, why do you guys want it more? You know, like, why are you confident that this team wants it more?
I mean, from the jump, I mean, my experience, I know, I mean, they've lost. I mean, we've lost twice in the past 2 years in the CFP. So, I mean, there's guys on this team that was on those teams that don't want to feel like that again, and they were so close. And I mean, just finally getting it done. You know, how serious everybody's taking it. You know, it's shown. It's shown on the film. It's shown in the meeting rooms of how everybody wants it. The coaching staff shows it. So I mean, just that vibe on the team of knowing how serious this is and how important it is to, you know, get this job done.
We've lost, man. Like that's it, right? Like right. It's I'm glad you said it's so true, man. It's so true. Like you're here now. Like, you know, you're a huge reason this program has gone to new heights. Like that's we forever, bro. Josh, like what do you think, man? Like, you know, why do you feel this team can do this? I mean, this is an unbelievable challenge for the defense. I mean, seriously, I cannot wait to watch you guys play. I cannot wait to watch this chess match and this execution battle. You know, why are you guys up for this challenge?
Oh, defensively, you know, we just got to treat it like every other game, you know, just execute our pillars and just play fast and physical, really. And, you know, we have all the confidence in the world in our offense that we know they're going to get their job done. So defensively, we just got to stop them, and we got this.
There's no reason anyone to doubt, man. I mean, I won't be the one. I know you guys won't. There shouldn't be anyone doubting. And it's going to be amazing. When do you guys head out to Houston?
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm going down there tomorrow too. So I'll see you guys at Media Day. I'll be there on Media Days. I'll make sure to come up and say hey to you guys. And I just, you know, you got it is just amazing, man. It's amazing that, you know, we're in the world of transfer portals. And I think one of the biggest things that I've thought about is like, how does a culture stay strong when there's, you know, revolving door? And it's apparent talking to you guys. I know our viewers will share the same. And to our viewers, please make sure you show some support in the comments. Just, you know, you guys, the character, just listening to you talk. It's definitely we, Josiah and Josh. Like it's we forever now, bro. This is an amazing opportunity for you guys. I don't even know. I can't even put it into words how I'm feeling. So I don't know I can only imagine how you guys are feeling. I just want to wish you the best of luck. I know you guys have been preparing. Monday night, man. Monday night, it's time. As we get out of here, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to in this national title game?
I'll say is winning it.
I mean, yeah, winning it, and the defense, you know, showing we're the #1 defense. Everyone's doubting us again. Just another challenge we got to attack.
Josiah, man, I mean, you're giving all that. You're just putting the answer so blunt, it makes it hard on Josh. Like, of course that's the answer. Winning it. Of course that's the answer.
Yeah, man.
That's all that matters. That's all winning. That's all that matters.
100%, man. Well, listen, you guys have had a great season, man. Happy New Year. Congratulations on the Rose Bowl. To our listeners, thanks for tuning in. This has been a fun ride having you guys along. Of course, a big reason we can do this is because of NIL. So head over to ChampionCircleUofM.com. Find out how you can support your student athletes so we can hopefully one day get the next generation of Josiah and Josh. Josiah, I know you have a decision to make, NFL or college. You'll make one of 32 teams really happy, or you'll make Michigan fans really happy. Regardless, you've made us all really happy this year, and we're so thankful to have you guys with us and along for this ride. So I wish you guys the best, and I'll see you down in Houston.
Appreciate it. Go Blue.
Yes, sir.
Go Blue. All right, guys, welcome into another episode of the Lab presented by Champion Circle. You know the deal. Head over to championscircleufm.com. Find out how you can support your student athletes. There's a lot of great avenues, and now is a great time to support your student athletes because the boys are rolling and competing for a national title. Fellas, I just want to get straight to it. Like, I know the time is limited and you got to get to work. You're playing for a national title. The first question I want to ask is like, okay, you know, when you're a kid, you dream about playing in a national title, right? Like I was talking to Josiah and Josh Wallace, and I was like, man, even me, there's this little kid inside of me that's so excited to go down to Houston to watch you guys compete, and you guys get to compete. What's like the little kid in you feeling this week, knowing you get to play for the big one?
I mean, it's just crazy, honestly. Like growing up watching all the national championships and like especially the ones in the college football playoff era, and now like really being in it and really playing in it is crazy. Like it's just crazy to even think about, honestly.
Yeah, like it's almost like above like your dreams. Like it's another step up. It's like it's the pinnacle of like college football. It's what you aspire for, and I've been watching it since I like can remember, like the Rose Bowl games, and then also since the CFP. Those have been my favorite to watch.
I'm juiced, dude. I don't even know why I'm getting so fired up right now. I'm juiced. How do you make it real? Like because it almost doesn't feel real in a sense, you know, right? Like it's above your dreams, right? Like it's so crazy. Like how I know this has been your goal going on a few years now. And I know last year you guys said, hey, we will be here. Like, how do you make this week real? Understanding how special and almost divine this week is.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's just more so taking a step back, honestly, and trying to, you know, bring myself back down, and, you know, remembering that, you know, we have a job to do at the end of the day, and we have to go win this thing. And we're not done. You know, the season's not over. We still got one more to win. So, you know, that's just been my focus. Just focus on winning the game, and after that, then we can celebrate and enjoy it.
Yeah, for me, it's like it almost just feels like another week because it's like the same practice schedule. Like the days are different, but when you get in like a rhythm of like what a Tuesday practice is, what a Wednesday practice is, and like you've been doing this since September. I mean, since September. Like once you're in that rhythm, you just keep it going. Like feels the same.
Yeah, you got me so juiced. I completely forgot about that. You're right. It's just a Wednesday practice, right? Like today, what's today? Thursday, but the game's on Monday. So Thursday's a Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Friday's a Thursday. Saturday's Fast Friday. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so you got your structure to fall back on. I'm so pumped to have you guys on here. You know, I'm a football junkie, and I so much appreciate just what you guys do. The nasty, dirty work, road grading guys, creating holes. And it's also, you know, it's like a microcosm of this team as a whole, which I just feel like continually comes up, which is just selflessness. You don't need the outside praise because the dudes in the locker room know, right? The guys that need to know. Max, let me start with you, man, because I've been singing your praises on first off, was that a flag? Did you get any explanation on that one?
I don't think the ref liked it. That's all. A lot of other people liked it.
The ref liked it too. He said, yeah, he liked it too much. That's why he threw the flag. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can find the same thing happen like a lot that game, and like might be clips of me doing the same thing earlier in the season too, to be honest. But no, it was a flag and still didn't help the team win, so it hurts to negatively affect the team.
Good answer. I like it and I appreciate it. Okay, but what about like, man, within the game? You know, you guys do a lot of motion too, Max, and I'm watching you guys shift down and motion across, and sometimes you're inserting, sometimes you're kicking out, sometimes you're pulling around all the way out to the corner on one play, that fake dive pitch to Blake, right? You know, what's your role on the team as a fullback? Because I don't think a lot of people really understand. How do you view your role on the team?
I see it as like the modern fullbacking. One of my friends, or I think Colson said that, modern fullbacking. I mean, the old school is like 250-pound guy just running forward. I like to pride myself on like I can get out on the edge and block corners too, and just kind of be as versatile as I can. Like whatever I need to do to help the team win, like I'll do it.
Kalel, and I want to ask you a very similar question because your role here at Michigan has evolved. If I'm not mistaken, you came in as a linebacker, right?
Yeah, I did. I was a linebacker my first 3 years, and then last year was my first year getting in as a running back a little bit.
When did that conversation start? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I think it was last spring ball coach. Well, going back to high school and like recruiting and stuff, I played running back in high school, so there was always a little bit of talk about me doing it in college. And then last spring ball coach came up and mentioned it, and I was like, shoot, of course. Like, who wouldn't want to, get the ball a little bit, being a defensive player at the time. And then last season, Blake went down, and we needed, a guy at running back to step in a little bit. I was able to do that, and then I just fully made the switch and stuck to it. So, yeah, that's kind of my story with that, and I just took it and ran with it, honestly.
I want to better understand Kalel Mullings, the running back. Do you like to go around the corner and show off the speed? Because you can roll now a little bit. Like you can roll, not even a little bit. You can roll now. Or do you like getting a nice A-gap Peter where Max kicks out the Sam and you go meet somebody in the hole and run him over? Like what's more satisfying to you?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because it depends on what kind of mood I'm in, to be honest. If I'm being honest, because I feel like for me, the two of them marry up, right? Like for a guy my size, I feel like people don't expect me to be as fast as I am. So I like to give them, try to come off more, blunt and brutish and go up the A gap and try to run people over. But then when I get the chance, I like to take it and show off the speed a little bit. So I like to do a little bit of both.
And you can do a little bit of both, more importantly, right? Like you can do a little bit of both. Not everyone can say that. So that's a great answer. Now, okay, so to our listeners, I posted a recap of like the game to my social media. And one of the videos, as I was rewatching, I realized, you guys took the field, and I was lucky enough to be down on the field. And Max, I will not forget the look in your eyes. I was standing there, but I didn't exist. Like your eyes were just so singularly focused. I think they turned like fully white or something like that, man. Maybe red, you just were so juiced up. Do you remember that moment when you took the field fully padded to come out to warm up? And because when that happens, it's kind of time, it's, hey, pads on, chin strap buckled. It's kind of time. Like that's the first moment when you're taking the field. Do you remember that moment?
I do partially. I come out and like we do like a wide receivers and the tight ends come out together. Two different vibes when they're coming out. The two different energies going on. But I do like a little speech, like kind of yelling, everyone get everyone going, mostly yelling. And then like once we leave that, like everything, I get pretty pumped up right there. Classic fullback stuff hitting my head and stuff. But it's kind of like my flush of the game right there is I just go crazy then, and it's like once I because then we go to indie period where they're like doing our individual drills, but like it's like all right, all my like emotions there, and like now I just go play like purely off of training and discipline.
Kalel, all right, so like I played, I was never a fullback, far from it, but I played with some great ones like Andy Janovich in Denver was like a guy that immediately comes to mind. Andy Janovich once had a great quote, and I think it epitomizes fullback. He's a big jack dude, and I said he's eating steaks every day. I'm like, Andy, like, do you ever eat vegetables? Like, the nutritionist recommends vegetables. And he said, yeah, I eat vegetables. He said, I eat Copenhagen. It grows in the ground. He said that's the only vegetable he ever eats. And I said, enough said, man, but, the fullback does more than just, road grade a linebacker. There's almost like an emotional aspect of it. Like when you see Ben going out there in warm-ups and you see Ben sticking somebody, like, does it fire you up a little bit? Do you think it fires up the team?
Yeah, no, it gets everybody going. And then for me personally, like playing linebacker and like having to practice against this dude when he first got here and like just knowing what what those guys are and what's going through those guys' heads watching the film all week and knowing they got to go meet 44 in the hole. Like, nobody wants to do that. So it just fires everybody up, gets the team going, and like knowing that you got a guy like Bredy leading the way, and nobody wants to deal with that. It just gives me confidence and all the other running backs confidence as runners, and it's just great.
Dude, that contact, like there wasn't like a low grade earthquake when you guys met in the hole in practice. Like there wasn't like a rip, like bricks didn't fall off the side of the building or anything. Like, what was Coach Harbaugh saying? I know he gets fired up when the pads get cracking.
Yeah, I mean he could hit too. Like, don't get it. Like, I may be like the first one through the hole, but like the second guy behind, like he can hit too. So
yeah,
at least 1 second one gets there. But no, we used to go against each other and like beat Ohio drill and all that, like just like full contact just downhill plays, and it's funny how it like switches up now, like blocking for him.
Yeah.
You go to shake his hand, and he's over there and also over there, and you're like, which you guys are seeing double, triple, and all that good stuff, man. There's like this science thing out in Switzerland. It's called CERN. We're like they're trying to figure out the laws of the universe, and they buried this like tunnel underground, and they shoot single atoms at each other at the speed of light. Have you guys have you heard of this?
I have.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, dude, Kalel, we got to send you a video on it. It's crazy. Yeah. They shoot 2 atoms at each other, and they smash at like the speed of light, and they're trying to create like mini black holes or I don't know, some crazy stuff. I say that because that's what I picture Max and you meeting in the hole together, just 2 dudes full speed smashing into each other. I'll keep it on pace here. Clearly, I'm getting a little fired up. So I really wanted to ask you, though, to get back on track here with the game. You know, there's a moment, and I just feel like the game was a microcosm of the season as a whole, because there was adversity within the game, and there was a response from the team. And the first play of the game, you know, it was an imperfect throw by JJ. Thought it was an interception. Okay, it wasn't. You guys punt, defense gets a stop. Bang, muff, punt, Alabama scores right away. And it's like, whoa, I thought we said we had to start fast, guys. We didn't start fast versus Georgia. We didn't start fast versus TCU. We got to start fast. What's going on right here? Was there any conversation on the sideline? I'm curious about this. Did anything even need to be said? Or were you guys so rehearsed in dealing with this? You know, how were you able to just bounce right back?
I'd say like a lot of it comes from JJ and Coach Harbaugh and Coach Moore right there. Like they were like, all right, like at the end of the day, only 3 plays came off the sheet. Like we went 3 and out, which sucks. But it's like, we know we got some stuff on there to run. Like we're going to get this, we're going to get rolling here. Like we're going to get moving. So it was kind of just trusting each other. Like, don't worry, like we still got stuff to do. So.
Yeah. And then I feel as an offense as a whole, like we have so much trust in our defense that we know, you know, even though they got that 7 points early, like we know those guys are going to get after him and get a bunch of stops, get turnovers, all that stuff. So it just gives us confidence knowing that we have those guys that have our back and, you know, obviously give us the time that we need to, you know, fix up whatever we needed to fix up and get rolling. So
then you guys get the ball back, and that first response was just like such a beautiful drive, man. Sharon, just the pre-snap motions and just it was artistic the way you guys moved the ball down the field. There was a 4th down conversion in there as well, right? There was a 4th down and I almost feel like it was so subtle, and you guys operate like there was no hesitation. It was 3rd down, then it was 4th down. No one looked to the sidelines. You guys got back in the huddle like it was 1st down. You break the huddle, bang, call the play, move the chains, no problem. You know, what is that drive? Did that drive do anything emotionally to you guys where it was like, did you settle into the game at all after that drive?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that I feel like that drive especially just gave us that boost back to where we were at the beginning of the game. You know, obviously starting off slow takes you down a little bit, but being able to put a drive like that together where you just slowly chop away at the defense and drive the ball down the field, and there's nothing they could do to stop it. You know, it just gives everyone confidence as a team, as an offense, and it just gives us the confidence and the ability to keep going. So,
yeah, I'd say the same thing. And then like their defense, you could tell like after that first 3 and out that they're like, oh, like I don't know if they thought like we weren't going to be able to score on them or something. They thought they would like be a shutout. And you could tell after that drive, they're like these guys came to play. Like this isn't something that we've seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome, man. It sure wasn't something they'd seen before. Kalel, one thing they hadn't seen before was your short motion where you came down and cracked the defensive man. I don't think I'd seen that. I don't know. Maybe I certainly haven't watched every play. Was that the first time that you done that motion and cracked somebody?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was the first time. That was probably the first time I ever cracked somebody, to be honest. Yeah, no, I just came down. I knew he wasn't going to be expecting it, right? Because again, like you said, we haven't done anything like that. I haven't really done anything like that. But I knew I just had to seal that block, and JJ could get around the edge. So, just did what I did, and shoot, it took him a little while to get up. So.
I mean, usually as a linebacker, they see you coming. Like you don't get a clean shot like that, right? Like what? So because when you get in your stance, like his back, he was leaning away from you. He could not see you at all. Yeah. Because again, he wouldn't even think to look out there. Like it's Kalel out there. You hadn't done it. So what are you thinking as you're coming down in the short motion?
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking like, all right, I got this dude. I want to kill him, but like, I don't want to get a blindside block or any type of targeting calls. So, I hit him, but I didn't kill him. But at the same time, I made sure I got a good lick in on him.
Yeah. No flags.
Yeah, no flag, but I'm gonna come hit you. So yeah, that was really just my mindset.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit because there was a few key moments in this game, particularly the final drive, the fourth down in particular. Again, similar to early in the game, like it was so operational for you guys that it almost like wasn't even a huge moment because it was like third down huddle, fourth down convert. Like it didn't feel like there was a pause to really reflect on how big that play was for you guys. What is that moment like, knowing like, oh my gosh, the season is hanging on here by this play?
I wasn't out there. But, like, when I heard the play call, and I was like, you just think J.J. McCarthy to play Corum, like that's going to get you 2 yards. Like, those are 2 names, something's going to happen. So, just confidence in, like, all those guys out there. Like, everyone has confidence in each other. Like, how many times we rep that same play, like, comes down to executing it, like, just trust.
Yeah, I mean, same kind of thing, honestly. It's like you just know those 2 guys, and they've been dominating all season. So when 2 guys can just do something over and over and over again and show you that they can move the football and get the job done in whatever way, it's just, as a teammate, I have all the faith in those 2 guys and all my teammates to, when we need something, just get the job done.
There'd be no reason not to have the faith, man. There's been a mound of evidence to have infinite faith. So you go to overtime, and first off, so you guys send out Mikey Sainristil by himself. Three.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, you guys got to win it. You guys got to win it all, so that picture can just get blown up for Mikey forever too. That thing was crazy. But Bama wins the toss and says, "Hey, we'll defer. We'll defer. You guys get the huddle." I mean, what's that conversation like as you're getting ready to take the field?
I mean, it's honestly at that point, the game, we've gone through a full game. Now we're in overtime, and it's like, what wouldn't you do to have an opportunity to play in the national championship? And for each and every guy on that team, on our team, there's nothing we wouldn't do to have the opportunity that we have now. So knowing that our whole season's on the line and we have to execute in this moment, there's nothing else. Like, this is it right here. Obviously, as a teammate and as a brother, like, I knew that our guys were gonna find a way into the end zone real quick because, like I said, it's the season. We have to, and with our backs against the walls, that's when you find out how people really perform and how they really are. So.
Because Max was leading the way. Of course, they were going to find their way into the end zone because Max is leading the way. That's a hardball special, man. What is it? Is it just counter, basically?
The one we scored on?
Yeah.
It's just power, but like I'm the first. I'm just like the kick out.
Yeah. And so it's you and Barnhart pulling around.
Yep. Yeah.
When you saw the picture, did you think touchdown? Like you can kind of feel, I don't know, maybe you can feel Barnhart put his hat on the outside shoulder. You kick him out and you can feel you can breathe somehow a little bit easier when the space opens up, right? Did you know touchdown right away?
Normally, like when we ran the play a lot, just like different formation stuff. But like when you kick it out, like I was like way outside like the tight end. I was like, there's a lot of room right here, like behind me. Like I don't know what's going on back there, but like there's a lot of room back there. And like any one of the running backs, like you give them space, like those guys are going to do some good stuff. So you could feel something was up. And
yeah,
as my guys started running upfield, it's like, oh, here we go.
It's so weird because people say, do you have eyes in the back of your head? And it's like, well, of course not. But like, maybe we do. I don't know, man. Cause I know what you're saying where it's like, there's some space behind me. I don't know how or what or where, but something's there. And then Blake hits the jump cut and you guys are all celebrating in the end zone. Did you black out for that moment, the celebration, Max? How loud were you screaming down there when you met him in the end zone?
I was thinking about that today because I remember just like looking at Blake and yelling something, but I have no clue what I was saying. I cannot remember what I was saying. But I just remember like getting up and just looking at Blake and just like something. I was saying some like just saying words. I don't even know what I was saying, but everyone like it just hit. I was like, we just scored. Like that was a drive in the Rose Bowl. Like that's one you're gonna see for a while.
You were like making animal sounds. You weren't even making words. You were just screaming like tribal sounds just as you road graded a guy out of his gap. That's awesome. Well, I mean, because you think about it, you guys, you drive down, you score. Of course, Jake Thaw muffed it and then saved the day. I mean, whoa, what a sequence. And then like all this happens in just like what felt like a very like small amount of time relative to the whole game. It's like tie game, bing, overtime, your ball, score. And now it's like you blink twice and it's 4th and goal, Alabama once again. Yeah. What are you guys thinking at that moment? 2 timeouts as well, because that felt like it lasted an eternity down there. Timeout, bang, the play finally gets called.
I mean, for me, obviously coming from the defense, it's like from what I was thinking is, Forrest getting the ball. But at that same time, all those guys up front, Josiah, KG, Mason, Jay, all those guys, I knew that they were going to, and everyone knew that they were going to do what they needed to do. It's just so hard moving our defensive front, getting balls caught on our corner. It's just so hard to even move the ball that as soon as it was 4th and 3, the game was over.
I was more nervous, I gotta say. I knew timeouts would get called, so I was like, all right, don't get too invested because like if they score, like we got to go score again.
Yeah.
But then after like the second timeout, I was like, all right, just like stop them.
You just go through like the full range of emotions, man. I was feeling the exact same thing. And the last question, as I ask you about the Rose Bowl, is the celebration. I just curious about the emotions. Like, is it more like a relief? Like, wow, we won this one. Like, thank goodness, what a tough game. Is it joy? Is it excitement? How quickly do you think we're playing for a national title?
I remember running out on the field, and I was like, we just won the Rose Bowl. Like I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then like you started seeing everybody, like you put the shirt, you put the hat on, and then you're like, all right, like I want another hat. Like, you know what I mean? I want I want to go win it all. Like I would say probably like you only really got like 3 good minutes of true Rose Bowl celebration before it kicked in. Like, all right, let's go win it all.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, we win, get the stop, storm the field, you run aimlessly, just run around, and then for me, it's like once the running stops and you hug a couple people, it's like, all right, like now it's time. Like we still got one more, and we got to go win it all now. Like there's no other option. Might as well. So
I'm glad you guys said that because you know, we can all celebrate outside. We can, and I know that's another storyline that's being built. Like, hey, like, you know, how quickly are these guys able to turn the page? And I know you guys turn the page because it is one more, man. It is one more. Kobe Bryant said it, job's not finished. And this Washington team is tough. They've been doubted all year, right? I know you guys have been doubted all year. They've been doubted all year. These are two Titans, you know, clashing. What are you guys most excited about in this matchup?
I would say just putting a bow on it all, like everything that we've been through this season, how close we've come as a team, and all the adversity that we faced and overcome. Just being able to finish it all and say, you know, 2023, 2024 Michigan Wolverines are national champions. That's, you know, what I can't wait to. That feeling is the feeling I can't wait to grasp.
Yeah, I think like leaving no doubt. Like you can say whatever you want, but like 15-0 is like 15-0. Like not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best team in America if you win that.
Right. The chance to. I mean, you put it in Sharpie, right? You can put it in Sharpie, and you could leave no doubt. Really, that is a good question, though, is just what this season really has been like for you guys, because I've been trying to conceptualize this and put it into context, and it feels like such a special year. But, I mean, is there anything you guys could even remotely compare this to in terms of the joy, the emotion, really the unity of this team? Like, it feels like you guys are so aligned and unified from top down. I mean, is there anything you can compare that to?
I mean, like, I guess the past two teams, like same thing, like unified, like everybody loves everybody, but like it's just like another game of like togetherness. I'd say it's like there's not really, you can't really explain it. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I would say that. And then, yeah, it's honestly, it's been like a kind of roller coaster, and because of that, like Max is saying, like it's just brought all of us together. You know, at one point in the season, it felt like every Friday, every Thursday, there was something on the news about us or something going on. Like, but you know, with all going through all that, just brought us all together, and just has made us stronger, made us better.
That's I just that is the obvious like assumption, I think, but it's so clear, and it's so clear in the game. You know, in those moments, I'm joyful that, you know, you guys, you know, had something to challenge you in the game, so we could just continue to see your response, because it's just so beautiful to see. I know you guys got a busy week here. You're heading down to Houston on Friday, right?
Yep.
It's just been such a fun ride to watch you guys, man. It has been unbelievable the way you guys have carried yourself through all the adversity, through everything, all the noise. You just continue to show up and chop wood. The way you fight for each other, it is truly, truly remarkable. And what better chance to do it, man? 15-0 against, or 14-0 versus 14-0, right? Both teams are 14-0, undefeated, Big Ten champ, Pac-12 champ. Washington joined the Big Ten next year, so this is the battle of the kings of the Big Ten going forward. The last year, the 4-team college football playoff, the last team of the East and West in the Big Ten. There's so much change coming forward, and it's like this is one of the last rides of this current version of college football, and for so many reasons, man. That's why I'm pumped to see. So just want to thank you guys for taking the time. I know it's a busy week. I know you guys got a lot going on, but to tune in with us, I know our viewers and our fans are you know, pumped to have a chance to hear from you guys. And I will be down in Houston, so media days, I'll make sure to come up and shake you guys' hands, just say thanks for doing this interview. But we cannot wait to watch you guys take the field versus Washington on Monday night. And there's one thing I know, you guys are going to be ready, and you're going to play your best game of the year. And I'm so fired up to watch it. So I'll let you guys get out of here, man. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Anytime.